Well, let us clear this mess once and for all. I entered the University of Ibadan in 1976, the same year as he, Godwin Obaseki. We were both from Ehosa Anglican Grammar School, where he finished 1 year ahead of me in 1973. I left in 1974. Mr. Ogbe Oviasu, also from the 1973 set, was the third person to enter UI that year from Ehosa. Chico Omere, also 1973, Ehosa, was the fourth, but he was in the prelim class. I attended Edo College for the HSC, and I know that Obaseki was at the Center for Continuing Education, now Institute for Continuing Education, which was quite popular for advanced level tuition those days. Obaseki was admitted to read classics, Oviasu, history, but both in the Faculty of Arts and I, Political Science, in the Faculty of the Social Sciences. In both faculties, all undergraduate courses were 3-year courses, as the university offered preliminary courses only in the sciences, agric and technology, also medicine. Preliminary or pre-degree courses for arts and social sciences were offered in the Jos campus of UI, which became the University of Jos in 1975. Up until 1978, when JAMB was established, Nigeria universities had two modes of entry. Applications were made to individual universities, and many of us had multiple admissions. The first was the concessional entrance mode, by which students were admitted to preliminary classes, which were in effect pre-degree classes at Ibadan. Prelim classes were sub 100 level and were taken as qualifiers for entry into degree programs. For this mode of entry, a minimum of 5 WASC O-level credits was required in addition to passing the concessional entrance examination set by individual universities. The second mode was direct entry. Direct literally because you were admitted to 100 level, unlike prelims which were pre-degree and sub 100 level. In the arts and social sciences at UI, direct entry courses were for 3 years, and unlike the current practice of admitting direct entry students at 200 level, direct entry students were admitted to 100 level of 3 years courses. For direct entry admissions, a minimum of 2 HSC or A-level passes in principal subject was required, in addition to WASC credits in proper combinations. Many of us had 5 WASC credits, but this was not a requirement. 3 WASC credits and 2 HSC principal passes got you admission. Admission was based on a points system that was calculated on the basis of WASC and HSC papers. A credit in English was also required, but an HSCO pass grade was accepted in lieu of English. A credit in math was also not a requirement in the Faculty of Art in the Social Sciences. 1976 was the last year students without credits in math were admitted. This was done apparently to accommodate hundreds of students from the Jos campus who opted to continue with UI rather than the new University of Jos. These were the requirements for admission at the time, and are not to be confused with requirements that came with JAM and now govern admissions. I should add that universities in the north accepted pre-degree and schools of preliminary studies, which is okay, 1 JMB passes in lieu of WASC and HSC papers. Governor Baseki was my classmate at Ibadan, and we took some mutual courses in history and philosophy during the 3-year programs. He was in Nnamdi Azikiwe Hall, Oviasu was in Teda, and Umere and I were in Independence Hall. Other Ehosa students at Ibadan at the time included Professor Larry Edusowan, Agric, and Mr. Duke Osumbo, Forestry, who both graduated in 1978. We graduated in 1979, and I know so much about Obaseki because we grew up in the same neighborhood in New Benin. Those ties are for life. Attended the same schools and belongs to the same church, St. Peter's Anglican Church, Lagos Street, Benin City. He attended UI and graduated with an honors degree in classics in 1979, the same year I graduated in political science and Ugbe Oviasu in history. I hope this messy matter can be finally laid to rest. You can imagine. You can imagine. Of course, I don't think anybody needs a soothsayer to say one thing or the other, or people to come and testify. In as much the school itself has made its point known, has made his submission known concerning this, that he graduated. So who is to now question the university system, that how, or the mode of your admission of students into your school? Who are you to do that? If it were to be these days, you can say, okay, a lot of things could have happened. Of course, anything could happen. But in as much the school has come out to make a categorical statement, so all these ones that they are talking here and there, I don't know. If the school had not said anything, it would have been a different thing. And maybe all this, what is it called? If he graduated, then why would he not go for service? There was a misspelling in his name in NYC, which he has even corrected. You know, at times you just believe that in as much it is the mistake is coming from the authority, then there's no point. Maybe there's an affidavit backing it up, and it's now deemed it fit. Okay, let him just go and clear all manner of things. In as much the commission, which is NYC, they have its record. So why should he be bothered? If you go there, you will see there. So why would he be bothered? I think that was why he was just using the other stuff since then. But since he now deemed it fit when this whole thing was going back and forth and all of that, and let him go and correct, which he corrected before the election. And also, Oshiomole, people have been talking that Oshiomole did not go to, 4 years of university as at when he was supposed to go. Maybe he went later. So when somebody who is at the right age begin to go to a particular thing, begin to go through a process, the child will understand it better. But maybe if you are doing something what is it called, at old age, during the time your mates are doing things, you might not be able to get that feel. So for Shomole to come out and say, oh, Obaseki did not tell him his educational background and all of that, so that is why. And so it's unfortunate that those who screened him out from that APC screening, whatever, some of them are even professor. I think there is one, maybe whether a doctor or Professor Ayuba or something. You can imagine. You ought to have known better. In as much the school has come, they are not saying discrepancies here and there within them there. Within them there, they are the one, they represented the school institution, they represented the court, they represented the everything, and they just threw him out. But at the end of the day, see their calculations now. But my own is that in as much the school has come out to say this is it, and I think everybody should rest. They are saying, oh, how can he enter university with a 3 credit? What is your problem? Are you the owner of the school? Are you the board member of the admission department? I don't know why people are just making things out of nothing. To me, I don't think we still need anybody to come and testify, which is good. When people don't know where you start from or where you started from, they begin to say one thing. But if people who are around you, that you went to do things together, they begin to come out and say, oh, forget it, forget this, forget this, forget that. But what we need to really hold on to is what the school has said, and that should be the final this thing. When they were talking about Obaseki is a technocrat, he does not know anything, this and this and that, this and this. But at the end of the day, see now, those of them that are very well experienced in politics, see what came out of them. Well, your explanation is clumsy. When it is time, you can appear as friend of the court. You can imagine all this one. Professor, but where were you all this matter? Where you going when everything was going on? He does not need to come out again. Intellectuals with two credits, give me a break. Okay. Okay. Professor Agbekawu came in for Oshomole. Mrs. Agbekawu was rewarded VC Ekpoma University's 5 years. Okay, person like you is a specialist in failure. Femi Dipo. Okay. We have told you Edo no be Lagos. Now you and UAP, Yoruba APC technicalities go die for cause. Okay. That Femi Adepo is a compound, whatever, is one of those people that support Jagaban and their godfathers. We will see how far things will go in this country. Kobo Femi Adepo is not benefiting from them. It's true, he's not benefiting from them. I think this Femi Adepo is the one who says your explanation is clumsy, that this man that came to talk about how himself and Obaseki grew up together. Yeah, so this Femi Adepo is now saying when the explanation is clumsy, and a lot of people are really responding to his comments. Well, don't bother yourself. You'll be a living witness when you are invited to court. You also tell the court the reason why only his result was signed by registrar, while others of the same were signed by other registrar. These people, they are not serious. Well, someone say don't mind them. UI is in a messy situation on Obaseki issue. It will lose part of its reputation. Okay, bad belle, you have no work. Nobody will win God in a case. We have warned you people in part 1, in part 2, God will win again. Sir, we are waiting for you at the tribunal. The registrar of UI already confirmed that Obaseki graduated from UI. I don't know why they are bothering yourself. Don't mind them. They are all specialists in failure. Nobody said he didn't graduate from UI. The questions were how he got admission and why UI issued. Okay. But PDP brought the case when Obaseki entered for the first time. Because PDP brought it up before the judiciary issue do the abnormally, the way you APC members reason is so absurd. Agberus, una no dey shame, you will still fail again. You are, why are you speaking for Obaseki? Let the courts of law interpret it for us. All of you are specialists in failure. Mr. Correct, Obaseki could have explained as you did before now, but he cannot defend himself. Mr. Mouthpiece, try harder to help him because the affidavit son NYC and all of that. The court of law has nothing to interpret. If Ezeyamu and Oshiomole decide to go to court, I will be happy because that will be free money for lawyers. Nothing will come out of the case. If you like, create discrepancies where there are none. Okay, someone was governor for 4 years. Why now? Well, no wahala, we don't hear, but ready to testify. Thank you. Nigerians, Nigeria, my people, my people. Professor has tried. You should just be patient to appear in courts. Nigerian politicians are very, very funny. So, guys, you can see what people are saying here and there. What do you think? What is your opinion in all of this? Thank you.